Hello everyone, welcome to the Beginner to Advanced Excel course by Slidescope. We are continuing our second section, which is Intermediate Excel for Data Management, after covering all the basics. So in this second section, in the first chapter, we learned data organization and cleaning. Then in the essential functions for analytics part, we completed logical functions, that is if, and, or, not. Now we are doing lookup and reference functions, and we are doing the first lookup and reference function, which is VLOOKUP. Later we will cover other functions as well. So the VLOOKUP function or the vertical lookup function is used to search for a value in the first column of a range and return a value in the same row from another column in the range. So let's say we have selected a range. So in that range, there will be a first column. Okay. So there you have to search for a value and return a value in the same row from another column in the range. Okay. So let's say we have a range. In this range, there can be n number of columns. So what if we have to search for a value in the first column of the range and return value in the same row from another column in the range? So we will see all of this. So the syntax of VLOOKUP function is like this, equal to VLOOKUP, and in this function you have to provide these three parameters, which is lookup value, table array, column index number, and range lookup is optional. That's why it is written inside square brackets. So lookup value, the value that you have to search, that's why it is lookup value. Table array, the range of cell or cells that contain the data. Column index number is the column number in the range from which to return the value. Okay, so column index number, and range lookup is optional. True for approximate match or false for exact match. So we have this table here where in the first column we have ID of these employees 101, 102, 103, 105. So every employee has an unique ID. Their name are given. So all the employees have their names, their respective departments. So you can see department IT is repeated here and their salaries. Okay. The task is to find the department and salary of an employee with ID 103. So we have to find department and salary of an employee with ID 103. Just giving you a SQL reference. If you don't understand SQL, then also just try to understand select. Select means print. So you can write select or print. So print department, comma, salary from employee is the name of the table where ID equal to 103. So although not the same thing, but this is something that you want to do, like print department and salary from employee where ID is equal to 103. So in the formula VLOOKUP, you will write 103, the value to look for in the first column as we read in the definition. Then A2 to D6, that means A2 to D6. This is your range. Okay, from A2 to D6, this is the table range that you have to use. So A2 to D6 is the table array that has your data, and 3 is the column number for the department. So 1, 2, 3. 3 is the column number where you have your department. And false is an exact match is required. So we will write false here. Otherwise it will be true. In case of true, approximate can be there. So we can use VLOOKUP. This is VLOOKUP for department and this is VLOOKUP for salary. In case of salary, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So salary is in the fourth column. So you will just use this formula. Okay. So what we can do, let's call this column lookup department, and we know that department is the third column. So here we will write VLOOKUP 103, that is the ID, A2 to D6, which is the range, and 3, which is the department number from left, and false because we want the exact match. When you will run this, you will see that ID 103 has a department finance. Let's say if we write 101 here, you will see IT. So obviously this is something that you can do. Similarly, if you have to, sorry for this, let's, yeah. Similarly, so we can write lookup department of 103, and here we are going to write lookup salary of 103. So here you don't need to change too much. What you need to do is, just a minute, yeah. So what you need to do is this formula, you just have to change 3 with 4. So this way you will be able to find salary of 103. So let's write 103 here, enter, and let's change it to 103 so that you don't get confused. We just write it. So this is department of 103 finance, salary of 103, 75,000, which you can see here. So this way you can use VLOOKUP to look up for a value. So now when you will read the definition, the VLOOKUP function is used to search for a value in the first column of a range and return a value in the same row from another column in the range. So value in the same row. So value in the same row is finance in the another column in the range. So this is what VLOOKUP function does. I hope you understood the concept. Please follow the series to learn more lookup functions and Excel basics to advanced. Hello everyone. Welcome once again to the beginner to advanced Excel tutorial by Slidescope. And in this example, we are learning about HLOOKUP function in Excel, which is horizontal lookup. So in the previous example, we learned about VLOOKUP. Now here we are going to learn what is HLOOKUP and how is it different from VLOOKUP. The HLOOKUP function, which is short for horizontal lookup, is used to search for a value in the first row of a table and return value in the same column from the specified row. So in the previous example of VLOOKUP, we learned that it in case of VLOOKUP, it is used to search for value in the first column of a range and return value in the same row. Here, it is used to search for a value in the first row of a table, and return value in the same column. Okay. So in that case, if we were searching for ID 103, so this is the first column of the table where we are searching for value 103, and it will look up in the same row. It will look up department, salary, name in the same row. Okay. But in this case, it is used to search for a value in the first row of table and return a value in the same column. So first let's see the example, then we will cover everything. So let's create a simple lookup table here. Okay, let's increase its size. So here we have a simple table. So in this table we have subject, math, English, science, history, art, and this is student A data, student B data, student C data. So you know how these students have performed in these different subjects for any particular exam. Now the formula of HLOOKUP function is, first is the lookup value, the value to search for in the first row. Like in the first row, what value do you want to find? Let's say student A, or 90 or 78, whatever value you want to find in the first row. Then your table array, that means this range that you will select from A2 to F4. Then your row index number. Okay, in the previous case we were doing column index number, then row index number. Suppose we want to find the row 3. So in row 3 we have to find something. Okay, then the row number in the range from which to return the value. And range lookup is optional. It is true for approximate match or false for exact match. So if you want to go for exact match, you can type false, and if you want to go for approximate match, you can write true here. So let's find out students grade lookup or student grades lookup. Find the science score for student C. So we can see that this is student C and its science score is 92. This is what we have to find. Okay, so using HLOOKUP we will try to find the score. So in for HLOOKUP, first thing that you are typing is lookup value. So in our case the lookup value is science because we are looking for science here. The value to look for in the first row. Okay, so here we have the first row, the value to look for in the first row. Now A1 to F4 is the table array containing the data. So in this case, we will be considering data from A1 to F4, not A2 to F4, because in this case, we are considering this as our first row. Okay. Then 4 is the row number relative to the table for student C. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the row number for student C for which we want to find the science grades. Now just use the formula and you can put it anywhere. Let's say we want to find it here. So when you will type here, you will find 92. So 92 is the science grades for row 4 in the range A1 to F4, and it is the exact match. Okay, this is what you can do. So it is giving us 92, which is the correct value. Some key notes that you have to remember: the lookup value example science must be in the first row of the table. The row index number specifies the row to return a value from, that is relative to the table range. Okay, should always be relative to the table range. And use false for an exact match. So for example, if we say A2 to F4, okay, our table range will change. Let's hit enter. It is giving NA. Now if we write 3, again it is giving NA. Okay, because it cannot find science. So let's say, what if we write 78 here? then you will get 92, because in this case 78 becomes the first row that you are looking signs. So obviously you will not do this, but that's why understanding the relative range is very important, and that's why sign. Let's say we want to find history, so you can write history and you will see student 3, that is B, in history has scored 78. Okay, so this is what you can do. Similarly, you can find math score for student B with the help of this formula. So you will type math here, A1 to F4, which is your table range. Third, that is student B's index relative to what you have selected, and false for exact match. So this is HLOOKUP. Again, the examples, the code and everything will be shared with you in the description of this video. Thanks for watching this video. Please follow the series for more functions in Excel.